So now let's just test it to see what program, I mean what what fish we caught. All right, so run this, and do you feel like fishing? All right, so type in yes, Y for yes, N for no. I'm going to type in N, and nothing should happen. When I type in N, nothing should happen. You see that? But when I'm going to run, type in no, right? As long as it starts with an M, because we're only getting the first character, right? So it doesn't matter. Hit enter. That also works. When I compile this and I run, and I even type in yes, it doesn't matter if I type in yes. I'm just getting the first character, and if it's a Y, that's all that matters. Hit enter. Oops. Now it's in a loop, right? We should ask. So that's the problem. Now we are in an infinite loop. We are catching fishes, alright, because we are not asking the user in the loop if they want to continue fishing. So every time continue fishing is set to, because we set it to yes, continue fishing will always be yes. Because we are not in the loop, we are not asking the user, do you want to continue fishing? So we can see that we are catching different kinds of fishes here. It's an infinite loop. So what we need to do, and I mean we're going to do this anyway, but over here I just wanted to test. What we need to do is after the switch statement in the while loop, okay? After the switch statement in the while loop, let's ask the user. Well, this is the let me just put a line break here. This is the closing brace for the while loop, and this is the closing brace for the switch statement. So after the switch statements in the while loop, let's go ahead and ask the user if they want to continue. So I'm going to basically copy this system.out.println statement, and here outside the while loop, outside the switch statements in the while loop, let's display this message and say, do you want to continue fishing? Basically, do you want to continue fishing? Because that's what the question said. Do you want to continue fishing? And then we can say, please type in Y for yes, N for no. Over here it said that at the beginning of each round, the program will ask the user whether or not he or she wants to continue fishing. The very first round, we asked them, do you feel like fishing? They said yes. But after they're done catching a fish, we asked them again, do you want to continue fishing? Right? At the beginning of the next round. So if they say yes, then the next round begins. Right? So let's compile this, and then, oops, well we're not done. Over here we just display the message to them, right? We need to actually accept the input. So I'm going to copy this line again here. Remember, this line is what is asking, what is basically popping up that kind of that text box, right? It's popping up keyboard.next line is popping up a text box, right? And whatever the user type is going to return as a string, but we are adding the char at 0 to get in that string. We want to get to the first character of that string. That becomes a character, and that character can be stored in continue fishing here, which is declared as a character here, right? And because it's a character, the loop starts again. All right. So if I type in yes for continue fishing, it starts again. As long as continue fishing is yes, the loop is going to run again. If it's no, it's going to come up here and check. Is continue fishing equal to yes? It's going to be no, right? It's going to be N. So in that case, it's not true. So this while loop is going to exit. And then now it's going to exit and then do nothing here. Okay, that's what we have so far. Compile this now. When I run it now, we should just see one fish at a time, because now we have a way of controlling the loop. So I hit yes, you caught a little fish. Do you want to continue fishing? Let me add a line break after this so we can see that. I can just add a line break after displaying this, basically. A message. So it's going to be one of these cases, right? After that, let's go ahead and, so this is the default, right? So after that, well, actually, let's just add a new line character. Before we display, do you want to continue fishing? Let's just add a new line character, a \n, and the \n is like a special command in your string. The / starts an escape sequence, right? The / starts an escape sequence, and once you type the / in double quotations, it's not going to be printed. It's going to expect one of the special escape characters. Okay, they are special escape characters. If a character that comes after the backslash is not an escape character, it's going to complain. N happens to be a special escape character, and what it does is it basically creates a new line. So before this do you want to continue fishing is printed, it sees the new line character here, the backslash n, and it moves the position from where it's at here to the next line here before the do you want to continue fishing is printed. So basically anytime the new line character is in a double quotation in a print statement or something, it's going to basically move the position from where it's at to the next line, and anything that comes after that new line character is displayed from that next line going. So by doing this, we're basically creating an empty line before the statement is printed. Okay, the new line backslash n is one command. Okay, they have to be together. All right, it's an escape sequence, and they go together. So compile this now and then run. Type in yes. It says you caught an old fish. We can see there's a line break here. Let's run this again. Actually, we don't have to run it again. We can just keep typing yes or no. It says, do you want to continue fishing? I say yes. You caught a huge fish. Yes. You caught a snail. Yes. You caught a whale. You caught an old shoe. You caught a goldfish. We can see it's different. Sorry about that. That's my phone. All right, so we can see it's working. Okay, we can see we are catching different things each time, and it's actually accumulating our points. We're just not displaying it. Right, so let me type in no here to exit. And nothing happens. We should actually we will add a message here to say thanks for playing or something like that, or with a nice message later on. Okay, so after it's done basically doing whatever has to be done in the loop, let me just take this down. After it's done doing whatever has to be done in the loop here, right, this is basically the loop. So after it's done, we want to be outside the loop here. We want to check to see the value of user number of points, because the question said over here, the loop keeps a running total of the user's fishing points, and we are doing that. We are keeping well, actually this is not what we want to do. Okay, this is not what we want to do. We want to keep a running total, right? We don't want to change the value each time, right? We want to keep, I forgot this totally. We want to keep a running total, so we want to add points each time the user continues playing. So if the user catches a huge fish and gets 60 points, and they want to play again, and the user catches a little fish the next round, 10 is going to be added to 60. Okay, it doesn't change user number of points to 10. Okay, it doesn't forget about 60 and just change it to 10. We want to add up. Okay, so I forgot to do that. What we have to do is basically accumulate the value. So basically user number of points, in the case if they play again, in the case where it's 1 or it's 2 or it's 3, basically in any of these circumstances, we want to basically add up to whatever is already stored in user number of points. And the way you do that is user number of points is going to be equal to what's already stored in user number of point plus the value of that fish. Okay, the point value of that fish. That's what we want to do. Right, now user number of points is equal to, so basically if user number of points was 0 initially and the user catches a huge fish, 0 is going to be added to 60, which gives you 60. The whole thing gives you 60, and 60 is going to be stored in user number of points. If they play again and user number of points is 60 and they catch a huge fish again, it's going to be 60 plus 60, which gives you 120, and 120 is going to be stored in user number of points. Okay, all right, so that's what we have to do for all of these. But user number of points is equal to user number of points plus 60 can be written in a shortcut version this way: user number of points plus equals 60 plus equals 60, right? You can read this as I am adding 60 to user number of points. Okay, or basically user number of point is increasing by 60, or yeah, user number of points is going up, okay, by 1. Sorry, by 60. I said 1. All right, so we're going to do the same thing for these ones, right? So just add a plus equals here, plus equals, so we accumulate. Okay, And all over here, if it's out of range, and we're not doing anything, so we're not adding anything to user number of points. All right, so now after we are done with a loop, like I said, this is a loop itself, right? And after we are done with a loop, we want to now, we'll have the value of user number of points. So we want to check, because the question over here says, you see, the loop keeps a running total of the user's fishing points. We've already done that. We are keeping a running total with plus, equals, and all that. And the last thing is, after the loop has finished, the total number of fishing points is displayed, along with a message that varies depending on the number of points earned. So we'll display the total number of fishing points, all right. But the question says, along with a message that varies. So we would have different messages based on the number of points earned. So if the user gets, let's say, 1,000 points, and we can say that, okay, you are an experienced fisherman or something. Or if the user gets, let's say, 10 points, we can say that, oh, you need training, or something. All right, so let's do that. So now we are outside the while loop. Let's now check the value of user number of points. So if, let's use an if statement now. So if user number of points, okay, let's start with, let's just have two statements, right? We can have multiple statements and have an else if. You can basically have a range for, basically every range and have a message. You can do that. You can add those different messages, but I'm just going to use two messages, right? If you have, let's say if user number of points is, let's say, greater than 200, right? That's reasonable. If it's greater than 200, right, then let's display a message. Let me just go ahead and copy this here. I don't necessarily need that new line here, so I'm going to remove it. Let's display a message saying that you are an experienced fisherman or something, or I don't know, yeah, fisherman. You are experienced. Well, the question also said that we should also it says the total number of points is displayed. So let's go ahead and display the total number of points too. We have the total number of points and user number of points, right? We can concatenate it with the string and say that user number of points concatenated with. So let's have a string first and say total points, total fishing points. Have a colon and concatenate it with this value, and then let's have another string. Well, we can have a new line. So after displaying the total fishing points, we can actually break it to the next line. So we can have a new line character \n. So after it displays this on one line, it sees the \n and moves the position to the next line and displays you're an experienced. You are experienced. Okay, you're experienced. Something like that. Good job. Good job. Else, right? If the user number of points is not greater than 200, then it's either let's use greater than or equal to 200, right? So if it's not greater than or equal to 200, then it's basically less than 200. So else, now you can be explicit and say else if user number of points is less than 200, but if it's not greater than if it's not greater than or equal to 200, then it's definitely going to be less than 200. So we can just call an else, and it will know that the user number of points is less than 200. So else, let's just display a message saying that so we'll display the total number of points, right? But then let's say you need training. Okay, better luck. You need training. Oops, sorry, my typing is bad. You need training, and let's say better luck next time, right? Because it said that along with a message that varies depending on the number of points earned. Now you can have, if the user number is greater than 200, then display a message. If the user number is greater than 100, then display a message. If it's greater than 50, so basically if it's not greater than or equal to 200, right, then that means it's less than 200. Okay, for all the numbers less than 200, is it greater than 200? Is it greater than 100? Okay, so if it's greater than 100 but less than 200, then you have another message. You can say so if it's not greater than 100, then that means it's less than 100, right? So for all the numbers less than 100, is it greater than 50? So that means you're dealing with, sorry. So if it's not greater than 100, right, then it's less than, if it's not greater than or equal to 100, that's what I'm trying to specify a range here. Okay, so if you wanted to break it down to ranges, right, if it's not greater than or equal to 200, then that means it's less than 200, right? So for all the numbers less than 200, fine. Do you want, for all the numbers less than 200, is it greater than if the number greater than 100, then you're dealing with basically, in numbers in the range of let's say 101 to, let's say 199, right? Right, and you want to display a message for that range, and then you want to display a message for let's say a range of 50 to 90. So basically, all I'm trying to say is you can specify ranges, right? But over here I'm just using 2. If it's greater than or equal to 200 or not, okay? So if it's not greater than or equal to 200, then that means it's less than 200. In that case, you have a message saying this. If you're greater than or equal to 200, you'll have a message saying this, right? All right, so I think we're done with these bullet points. I think we've basically solved the question the way I understand it. So let's compile this and let's test it. All right, so run. Do you feel like, let's see something here. Now, if we say no for the very first time, it's going to tell us we need training, right? But that's how the program was developed. We can change it around, make sure we modify it, but then for the most part, we know the program is working. So let's run this. Let's hit no for the first time, and it says total fishing points is 0. You need training. Better luck next time, because we didn't really do anything, right? So okay, so that's how we design a program. But then we can actually we can work our way around it. We can work our way around it, so that's not a problem. Okay, so let's compile this, and then so a way to fix it, right? A way to fix it would be you can have a variable called round that keeps track of, let's say, all your rounds, and if the rounds, and first of all you initialize round to 0, and you can say that okay, before you display this, you check to see if the round is equal to 0. Then that means the user didn't play at all, and if the user didn't play at all, then you just say okay, come back whenever you're ready to play, right? But if the round, anytime this loop iterate, you want to increase the round by 1. So as soon as the user plays the first round is going to increase by 1. And anytime it checks to see if round is 0, round wouldn't be 0. So in that case, that message that displays or come back whenever you're ready won't be displayed. Round 1 will be greater than 0, right? That means the user plays. So in that case, it's going to go ahead and check this, right? That round variable is just used to check to see if the user played or not. And if the user didn't play at all, you want to display a completely different message. And if the user played, you want to display this message, right? Because the user can play this game, always catch an old shoe and gets 0, right? You want to display this message. But the user can also not play at all, and still number of points will be 0. But in that case, the round will be still 0, because if you don't play a round, then the round variable will never increase. In that case, you want to display a message saying, okay, come back whenever you're ready. I hope you get me. All right, so let's run this, and then let's try say yes equal to will. So now if I say no, I'm done, I hit enter, it says total fishing points is 100. You need training. Better luck next time. Now you can tell that a will we get 100 here. But the thing is, because I'm not exceeding 200, I'm not an experienced fisherman. So compile, runs again. Let's play for a couple of times. So yes, equal to snail. Yes, 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 yes. I keep on catching a shoe. I got 3 shoes in a row. My goodness. All right. So if I stop here and I hit enter, your total fishing points is 20. Better luck next time. Because we can tell, a shoe gets actually 0, right? A shoe gets 0, and then snail gets 5. So I'm not really increasing, right? So let's try until I fish for something bigger. Let's keep going. Huge fish. Where's a whale? I need a whale. Now I'm just trying to win now. Huge fish, old shoe. Okay, so now when I hit no, total fishing points is 625. You are experienced. Good job. You're this is supposed to be you are experienced. So yeah, so that's the idea. That's the idea. Your experience. All right, so we're done. If you have any questions, please comment down below, and I'll do everything to respond to them. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time with the next program. All right, then. Bye-bye.